You have more experience, so you get level 12 sooner, much like how a DP would play. And on top of that, you also have the usually better farm than an offlaner, which means that you also are able to get some sort of abilities to deal with that Bane and the Shadow Demon. That's why the Nightmare doesn't scare me as much, but the Disruption is a big nuisance. Because if you just BKB early, for example, or even get the Shard at one point and press the attack, the Nightmare is no big deal. But because Zeus can still Nimbus, and you can get BKB, and you can still hit them eventually. But the problem does happen when you have to deal with the Disruption. There's nothing you can do to stop a 2-second Disruption. You can't link into the enemy, so all you can do is just pray that the Shadow Demon is not in range.
Yep, Shadow Demon is not in range, or alternatively,
He's already used Disruption.
Yeah, or the enemy's BKB'd, and then you get the duel.
Yeah, that's good too, actually. So it's a threat to... I guess in TB maybe.
Yeah, TB, maybe a Quap, right? Can be somewhat realistic this game. I could see, yeah, I mean, I can definitely see a BKB into this lineup, right? I mean, Zeus, right? I think BKB is a viable option in these team fights, lest you just be eating all of this damage.
Yep. This time though, the cut did not joke around with the draft, and I still like the Magnus draft. I actually thought they adapted with very outside the box picks, almost like a pub, honestly. But I think it works out for them. I think it's quite clever.
I agree.
And the only issue you could argue with these picks is that I feel that the supports are not really well utilized. Weaver with Wraithing is okay, right? But both supports do the same thing, which is lane cutting and having a quote-unquote global presence. Weaver might not seem that way, but Shukuchi's so fast, it can actually rotate really quickly. It's one of the advantages of the Weaver. And they both bring essentially damage to the table, right? Spellbreaker brings a bit more control, Weaver brings a bit more damage, but there's similar in that sense, and there's not incredible synergy with your team.
I think I slightly disagree with that because I see a Legion commander with a Zeus and 2 supports that can always be there, and I see a lot of dual potential.
No,
right?
That's true.
And I think that's going to help enable, like we were talking about, this LC a little bit more in the early game when you already have these abilities. I mean, Sakuchi's ready, and Charge is going to be ready soon, and Zeus is maybe in some trouble.
That is true. The global potential, Zeus is going to die.
Yeah, Scourge is going to reach him.
Yep. So the global potential is a good point. One of my concerns, though, is that usually when you... like, both dueling someone and the Nimbus, while they work together well, the Spellbreaker doesn't work too well with them, because you actually push him out of the Nimbus sometimes unless you're careful. You're trying to stun him, right, and then all of a sudden you're pushing him out of Nimbus. With the duel, for example, you're also making it so that Legion doesn't get any either blade mill damage or has to reach him, eventually. Like, it's a bit of a nuisance. Spellbreaker is not the most synergistic hero with these kind of abilities.
That's true.
Though I do agree with the point of the global presence, and I certainly see Weaver being useful in general.
Yeah.
But Weaver's just broken, if I'm honest with you, so I think Weaver's good in any draft, dude.
Yeah, I like this global presence a little bit more earlier, perhaps before there's even a Nimbus, because I think a lot of the times Mark is just going to rely on that extra ability, right? Thunder God's Wrath, maybe the bash damage from the charge in, and the Sakuchi damage being dealt. That might be the difference between a duel victory and not, or even just a kill and not, let alone a duel. Like you said, 10 damage, whatever. But, as long as you can secure the kill right after, I think that's going to be the main concern. So, maybe early on this is going to be pretty good for Team Magnus. That's kind of why I like this lineup quite a bit, right? And I have an inkling. We saw this a little bit at TI. Not really Zeus, but not really LC, but it was like a Spirit Breaker and plus global, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like no, we didn't. No, it was Wisp and some other hero. Storm, Wisp and Storm, I think we saw a lot of, right?
Wisp and Storm. It was usually like Wisp, Mars, and Storm in the mid lane, and that would have global presence. Yeah. Like, global has always been really useful in competitive. That's why Spirit Breaker is so strong and competitive, right? He's okay, and he's good in pubs, don't get me wrong.
Wait, what? The tower high-fives them?
Yeah, if the tower has the cosmetics.
Ah, okay. Right.
So Spellbreaker's good in pubs, but he's extremely good in competitive because of the coordination you can have with Logan and DNF. It's actually a really good spear.
Yeah, from the disruption, Giants really wanted to walk up and share he's going to land that Shadow Poison.
What's the build on Weaver? Did he go for Geminated Attack, I'm assuming, level 2? No, he went for Swarm. Okay. So this is actually the biggest, most important decision in the Weaver's life. It's what you put the point to. Gemini Attack is better for harassing, Swarm is better in general for kill potential. So this means they think they can get a kill here. Otherwise, they would have just gone for Gemini Attack, which is much cheaper and easier to harass with. Usually you still go for 1-1-1 though in the beginning, unless you feel like your lane is awful. If your lane is awful, you usually get a 1 point, 2 points in Shukuchi. But if you go Swarm, most likely it's 1-1-1. Sorry, I just get hyped. I feel like Weaver 4 has not very many intricacies. It's really just the laning stage.
Yeah, just the laning stage and whether or not you have a different Urn builder on the team, because then you have to build slightly more awkwardly. Urn's just such a great first item on the hero, to be honest, especially as a support. Gives you everything you need. Bit of HP, damage over time, and of course the mana regeneration, which I think is pretty big.
Though, I will say I think that people don't really play around with the Weaver build enough. I think that there are cases where I've seen, because like Urn just doesn't feel that great past a certain point if you're not going to upgrade to Vessel.
Okay, fair.
And sometimes I do feel like in a couple of games I've seen, I would have rather the Weaver just build Medallion instead. Similar stats, similar build, right? It's Blightstone's great with Weaver, and it would just do honestly the same thing. I get the point of Urn with Weaver, and I still think Urn is always superior in the early game.
Sure.
But if you're looking to scale, I feel like Medallion sometimes scales better.
Yeah.
And I've seen only like a handful of players, usually tier 1 players actually, like all the Div 1 players, consider variation in builds. If you look at Div 2, it tends to be very standard.
I think that's accurate. I think you know, you're going to want to stay a little bit more towards the solo play Weaver when you can in pubs and when it comes to not tier 1 Dota. Just because the Urn is going to give you the solo kill potential, right? You can very easily just run it as support, maybe even a very squishy support with Urn taking them down with the Swarm, a couple Geminate attacks, and Sakuchi just nuking them. And yeah, I mean, that is strong early, but it's going to fall off early. Yeah, he's considering it.
I like that, because again, this game is like, is it the best Vessel game? Oh.
No, it's a pretty bad Vessel game.
It's a bad Vessel game. Yes, Shukuchi still and stick. I think he should be. He didn't stick before Shukuchi. That sucks. I get it though. You're stunned and you just like press W, press W, press W, and you don't get the healing off in time. You might have died anyways.
Zeus is back with full mana, and he's gonna have the mana boots as well to boot here. 1 CS.
That sucks.
Yeah, he's okay. Real quick, I assume, of course, hold on, Pingu might be in trouble, actually.
I have good kill potential on this lane. I already used Arc Lightning though, Tempest, let's try Trap Mist is not getting any second chances here.
Scourge though, yeah, this is a Zeus, buddy. He's a pretty hard counter to you.
Yep. That Metamorphosis doesn't really scare the Zeus as much. I mean, it scares him if you're really close to him, but otherwise. They go for Giant now, does he have Disruption? He does, so he can still avoid 1 bit of damage. Stormer's probably not going to kill him, which is why, as well, intelligently enough, Team Magnus does not commit for this play. Good job, I like that.
You know, without Spear, without a lot of mana, just throwing a couple bits of damage. They're really pushing this lane, by the way.
Yep.
I believe this camp, yeah, it's still blocked, so they're just like, okay, whatever, we'll just push then.
That is one of the biggest issues I've actually seen with Weaver support, particularly in the 5, is that your lane control in terms of like pulling and those kind of moves is really bad. Because Weaver 5 or 4 tends to avoid boots, especially in the beginning. Sometimes you build it later, sometimes you actually don't build it the whole game. So that means that either the only way for you to go between camps is Shukuchi, but if you're invisible, the creeps don't aggro to you, right? So you being able to pull and stuff sometimes becomes a really tedious thing. And you're also a support that's really good at just harassing all the time. You're not good at the burst damage necessarily. And that means that you want to be in lane, and look, like this. You want to be in lane attacking the supports all the time. In fact, I think in many cases, when you're playing Weaver 5 or 4, it's actually the core who should be the one that's pulling in some cases, while you harass.
I'll even go a +1 on you there. Hold on, Pingu in some trouble. Nightmare onto Zeus, and there's the TP from Kids. They're going to look for the kill on Zeus, and with Sonic Wave, that is free. Trap Nest has a charge away in 2 seconds, and also he has 2 bracers. You're not killing him, so he can just kind of take you for a bit of a walk here. Yeah, there he goes. Bye-bye. I'll even do you a +1. He's going to charge in top lane, where they are currently having some troubles, because Weaver is going to get the 6 charges off. Sakuchi's going to at least allow him to get that assist gold, but he will be killed first. So solo XP for Jack. Charge is now for one of the lane creeps, so I don't think they're going to go for anything further here. I'll even do you one further, where, you know, you do buy a lot of sentries as Weaver, naturally, but you put them in lane. You don't really want to have to put a sentry to just unblock a camp, because you're not harassing near the camp, so it's not really as useful as it would be for you in lane, where you can Sakuchi in and out and get your attacks off, right? Yeah.
So like, Weaver's, interestingly enough, a good support that's a bad support. Like, I feel like all the things a support should do, traditionally, Weaver's not particularly great at. But I would say warding is the one thing that I think it's
Skirter. He's got like a
Skitter.
It's not Skitter.
It's Skitter. He's just playing Tundra.
6 Midases.
Yeah, I think Weaver is pretty good at warding. Like this, like deep wards like those. You know, play like NP essentially as 5. He sees Scourge like I'm gonna start taking his armor. In 6 years, he will have no armor. He
There it
does
is. 6.
Does he have a point for Sunder?
7.
He does not actually.
8. Oh, we're getting there.
Oh no, Scourge!
We're getting there.
Is it gonna get minus?
Oh!
He's gonna die. Thunder God's Wrath well utilized there. In fact,
has a
Mark
duel.
also rotated. He has the duel. He's on Pingu. Try nightmaring me now. Oh no, disruption. Oh no, they have so much save for the duel. He feels so bad about that one. He might still get the kill though. There's the Bane. And Pingu will die, I believe, with a Shikuchi. Yep.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, is a really good example of, I saw someone in the chat talk about this, feeds after midnight. Great guy, by the way, always comes by to do some analysis. Yeah, he's great. And let's talk about why duel early might be worth it, because it's worth as much as Blades of Attack. But first of all, you don't buy Blades of Attack on Legion ideally. But second of all, that's why. Because it's actually a big, like the commitment you get there to try to get the duel damage, most likely you're not getting it all the games. It's actually quite a big risk. Whereas farming is always unrisky. You always get guaranteed the creep gold, right? That's why many Legion commanders try not to do the early duels, because it's a high risk, low reward kind of play. And as you can see, Mark just went back to mid lane and farm.
Yeah. Needs to keep creeps off the tower.
No armlet though, he's gonna go straight blink, which is not common.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised by as well. That's what I was going to bring up. It's going to be quite a while until he has it online. Phase Boots and Orb of Corrosion are going to be his only 2 items. Not a lot of mana regeneration, a double bracer, you know, and some armor and HP on the orb. So, you know, somewhat decent HP, but your mana is going to be suffering a bit. So you won't be able to PTA too frequently. No points in overwhelming odds either.
Yeah, I actually would much rather see this Legion being the second damage dealer with an armlet, but I kind of understand the point she's suffering. We picked a mid laner for the offlane. Who's going to initiate otherwise, right? That was the issue that they had last game, and DNM's like, guys, I can't initiate this game either. So, Scourge.
Nice swarm.
Yeah. Good arena though by DNM. He might die as a result. No, Nightmare saving him. What a game for Legion Commander. DNM still alive thanks to the disruption.
No one toggled the Nightmare?
In fact, Weaver is going to die. You can't actually duel. Trapness will fall as well. That's why duel is so annoying. You can only get rid of the Nightmare if Legion is BKB.
Oh, right, because you can't attack them.
Yes, you can. So how it works in duel, in case you guys don't know, is that the Nightmare will be passed on between the 2 tool targets, right?
Yeah.
That's easy. But it's passed on the moment you're able to attack, which is the moment Nightmare's invulnerability fades. So you're literally invulnerable, attacked, and Nightmare passes on. Invulnerable, Nightmare passes on, right? So it's a big nuisance.
Scourge.
It's really difficult to take
Scourge he's alone, and he does not have. Oh, he does have Sunder. He was saving a skill point. He's gonna TP out. Okay, he showed me and showed Mark. See ya.
Showed everyone.
Showed everyone.
Showed everyone.
So perhaps this is a game where you get the Ankh Scepter, because then you can target. Yeah, that's true. I always forgot about that, because you get meat murped if you try and attack an ally who's or an enemy who's affected by duel, isn't it, or something like that? No, you don't.
You do not get meat. Yeah. No, they're literally invulnerable. Yeah, you can't click them.
Damn.
Like for the first, like I think it's, I don't know how long the vulnerability lasts for. 0.3
like,
seconds or
I think it's a bit longer. Does it say here? No, of course. Why would it say?
What alt? In the first second. It's a whole first second.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. I'm not going to be impressed by Bane's saving. First whole second? That's half a disruption.
Isn't disruption 2.5?
Okay, that's a fourth of. Look, don't make me too mad.
2.75? Wow.
That's impossible.
Yeah, no, Pi's like 3.
Yeah, Pi's like 3.
So is E. It's like 3.
Isn't E double Pi?
E is 2.73.
Oh, no, it's true.
Something.
Right. Look, I failed mathematical course. You, as an astro engineer, should know more about that.
Yes, it's true. Definitely didn't retake Calc 3 multiple times. That wasn't me. Got it the last time, though. Nailed it. Nailed that sucker.
Oh, no. Every time I got a math test, I just said I don't speak English. And then they're like, what this number is? Discrimination. I passed all my classes.
Actually, these are Arabic numerals.
And I was like, Spain hasn't been Arabic since the 1200s.
We had a whole thing about that.
Jack, he does have the armlet now, so he's looking to try to use the small power spike. But these past team fights have not gone too well for them. Let's see how they must.
Scourge has meta active, so he'll roll up on this fight.
Good Nightmare, actually. once again avoiding some damage. Disruption. This is so frustrating
Mark
for the poor guys of Team Magnus. Yeah, they can't duel. Thunder God's Wrath, though, will deal a fair amount of counter damage, but it doesn't matter because the Fiend Scrap's not Mark completely, and Mark will die here to the residual damage from the TB. Giant does die to the Zeus there a bit, and the help of the Weaver, but they just got nobody else. Here's the charge. Nightmare stopping them. DNM also with the armlet can toggle this nicely. They need a bigger source of damage. DNM will able to just retreat at Trapness dies just for the Pingu kill.
Wow.
They do take the tower though, so not entirely bad for Magnus.
It just feels so bad for LC. She dies with duel ready to be casted still.
Yeah, she got really hard countered there.
But the fact that the cut focused so much on the LC does free up the Zeus. I mean, look how much damage he does. I mean, this is the benefit of at least having kind of a mid laner in the off lane, right? Yep. Especially if someone else is being focused and taking the brunt of the harass and the lockdown, he's able to pop off. 267 damage done by the LC. Not to worry. Zeus is clocking in with 3K in that fight.
Yeah, it's true. The Zeus is actually doing okay, and he can just make up for the lack of Legion damage. In fact, if Legion is going for this build of just building Blink Dagger, maybe that's the goal, right? You build as an initiator and a tank, which usually tends to be Blink Dagger plus like Pipe or BKBs, sorry, etc., and the damage will eventually come with duels or maybe not. And the goal is that Zeus will just deal the damage instead. I mean, physical damage can't really be abused too hard this game. You've already got the Swarm probably for Wraithing alone. You don't really need the Legion to do that too. And you have high armor targets or Bulwark, etc. on the enemy team.
Decided for Earn, by the way, on the Weaver.
He did, because but this is what I like though. He decided for Earn because he made the choice that Vessel is a good item. Which, fair enough, because it's good against Mars. It gives you residual damage, which might actually deal with TB nicely, especially once it gets lifesteal, right? Like, I'm not against the Vessel this game. But I like that he's building Vessel. I think simple Earn is just really bad, generally, as the game progresses.
Okay.
I think there's usually better choices. The only hero I would ever keep simple Earn on, or the only two heroes rather, is Invoker, which in some cases you don't need anymore. It's just Cold Snap trigger, and Brewmaster for the Cinder Blue trigger. Besides that, I think simple Earn, unless they have some sort of special synergy, is just for the early game.
Yeah.
Really. It's good on offlaners though. Like Bloodseeker, for example, can build simple Earn because it's like 900 gold to him is nothing. But for a 4 Weaver, 900 gold is all of a sudden, what? A third of your night.
Usually you're the one that's pretty good on these numbers. Oh, this could be big. Pingu, he's going to look for the Fiend script, but he's going to find instead a Spirit Breaker. DNM can handle him if he wants. Yep, they're going to go for him instead. Has the Arena, likely not going to need it here, but again, the Spirit Breaker very tanky. He's going to try and charge out of the Arena, but he's affected by the Bulldoze. He gets himself out. Very nice play there, utilizing the Nether Strike, but currently there's a Fiend's Grip with nothing to cancel it. Pingu is going to channel the whole thing, but they can't quite get through Jack. Yep. And that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade here in favor of Magnus. Only losing the Spirit Breaker. Nice job. Good positioning by the Spirit Breaker. If he's not there, that's a pretty easy kill onto Mark, onto Jack, who still didn't have Reincarnate.
Nightmare me now! Night, disrupt me now! Says Mark as he kills one of the 2 supports.
And with that, he's going to have a level 2 duel, but it was a level 1 duel that was casted, hence the 10 damage. Don't be confused.
Wait. 8, 9, 10. Oh, okay. He lost 1 point.
There it is.
I thought he was skipping duel because he's like, I'm not winning these anyway. What's the point of putting more points into it?
It still extends the duration, right? Yeah.
Yes. No, it's still good.
I was just checking. I knew obviously everyone knows damage, right? But I was like, I'm pretty sure it makes it a bit longer.
Also, honestly, Legion's ability is not that good. They don't skill that well, so it's like, are you going to get more points in overwhelming odds? Whoa, big whoop. Now is the time, though, to get the Shard. I think the Shard's going to change things for Legion, because then at least you can deal with Nightmare, and then the only thing you have to deal with is Disruption.
Yeah, it also allows you to deal with this Arena, right? So that's been a pretty big one. It doesn't allow you to get disrupted, although, of course, you still have that problem where your dual targets can still be disrupted usually. So it's still got problems. But, you know, it's a nice shard to have for sure. Halfway to the Acceptor for the Zeus. That Nimbus Cloud is going to, I think, be a pretty big bonus in these team fights. You have got a couple of heroes that are good at hitting the Nimbus. Specifically, Quap at all times is pretty good because she can blink around it and maneuver. And TB with meta active can dispatch it pretty quickly. Everyone else kind of does struggle with it. So I think it's a pretty decent item this game. Charge is for the Shadow Demon. They don't want to go too far. They're just here to do some dewarding. Oh, well, if Giant's going to get him a kill, they'll take it.
Mark was here. Is like, guys, I have duel now. Like, oh, sorry, Mark. This is the only one you could actually win, which is when someone's solo. He's actually going to consider an Orchid. This is the way you deal with dual counters. You're going to silence them.
DNM doesn't have a blink yet, but even if it did, he wouldn't be allowed to blink away, given the fact that Zeus is just going to be spamming out his spells. Static field, just 1 point in it for now, of course. Is still going to do well to get through the tanky hero. That is the Mars, and even, of course, the TB, who, much like a Dusa, is one of these heroes that just likes to go for mixed stats, and as a result, you're going to end up being naturally tanky, especially with the Reaver eventually in Satanic. So, yeah, Zeus hurts a ton. One of the better counters to the TB hero. We just, Zeus has not been pickable for the last 2 years, really.
I think the best one, because he's only been picked against TBs in the past, like, year and a half or so. True. I think so, because honestly, you're right, he's bad, right? But the hero, TB is so countered by Zeus that... What is Trapness doing? What is he doing?
I'm not sure, because he just put down a sentry, so I'm pretty sure he knew there was a sentry. What a great arena, by the way. Mark is going to jump in. They're going to try and turn this. Okay, and they are, because Ping is dead.
Trapness is so good at this game.
He's going to get dropped. What a bait. The Team Magnus now running them down. They're going to throw the spear. That's going to lock down the Wraith King for now. Mark, he's going to be held at bay, though. Shadow Poison is good to cancel the Blink Dagger. Giant, without a disruption, is going to tick away. It's going to give 2 more urn charges here to the Weaver. Mark is maybe in some trouble. Kits does not have enough damage, though, even with the Sonic Wave, to get through the health regeneration of the LC. As Weaver might be in a bit of a rough spot. He's going to secure Chi away. He's good to go. Top lane.
Yep. They actually got the TV, and they won the duel as well. I loved it because their Giant was, his only role is to just make sure Mark doesn't get any duels, right? That's why he was canceling his Blink Dagger. But in the end, he still died, and they get another duel on top of TV.
Yeah.
That might have been my favorite play of the series, honestly. Whatever the Trapness was doing. It seemed like he was a runner in the Olympics, right? Getting ready to charge or something. But he was just contemplating life for a while. Oh, wow. Are you going to put the replay on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that initiation is honestly very hype.
In the meantime, that's also going to secure Roche for Team Magnus, who utilized this space and the kill onto the Terrorblade. For very, very good space. Lots of objectives here for them.
Yeah, that Legion Commander getting the Aegis probably because either you're supposed to be the initiator and you're the one that's like scariest, or sorry, that might die most likely. As there we go, the Nightmare again. Nimbus is not going to take it out. There's the feed script. Oh my god, what a terrible life Mark leads. That's the Aegis though. Yeah, that's why maybe you give it to Wraith King who hits buildings. That was the point I was about to make, as Legion just died twice.
Okay,
for free.
Alone. Yeah,
at least he didn't give dual damage, but it's just, you can't make these plays with a Bane and a Shadow Demon on the map. You have to always go with your team.
It's true. Yeah, Scourge uses meta for this, but it's okay because there's Ancients here to farm. There's a Group Wave pushing in top lane. At least it's not going to allow them to get any objectives too easily. Mid-wave has been pushed out for that reason.
Do not charge.
I assume this charge is going to be cancelled.
Do not.
Oh.
What is this madman doing? Disruption?
Oh, he's got full vessel. But they need to get back. With no grip.
Oh, they got him.
They got him. The
Thunder God's Wrath and Nimbus is for good measure.
Oh my goodness. So much damage in this second.
Weaver will die for this, but honestly, for the skill, it's totally worth it.
Really?
Yeah, right? Oh, he's protected by his team. Giant's actually the first one to die. Now Pingu's in trouble. Can't quite kill the Weaver.
Wow.
Honestly, the counter initiation by Magnus has been on point this game. Okay. In fact, their global presence and the way they've been utilizing it, though not as I expected, because Wraith King somehow is global too, but it's been really good. Their positioning in these games, this game has been really, really on point.
Yeah, they lose Aegis and the second life there on the LC, but it costs the cut pretty much literally everything. Even if they wanted to fight there, they'd be fighting without Sonic Wave, without meta, without Sunder, without grip. Like, you have nothing, basically. So
that's what Mark was banking on. He's like, I'm going to waste all the resources by killing myself twice.
And it did work. Unfortunately, they don't really get too many objectives out from it. They continue to hamper the farm here of Scourge a bit, but he's still farming up pretty decently regardless. Full Scotty finished up on top of the Dragonlance and Yasha. This ward's going to expire. This ward is fresh at least, so we do get one aggressive ward out mid lane.
I mean, his name is literally Scourge from Duck, right? He's supposed to be swimming in gold.
Yeah, and this is why Quap's pretty much the only good Nimbus hitter, but she does a really good job at it.
Yep. I still like the build for Zeus. He didn't go for the passive yet, though, so I want to see that. Back to Bulldoze. I think Travis will still die. Yeah. There's no way he can charge, that's why they use the Purge. Well done. And that is not affected by the stat of resistance. It wouldn't, like, it doesn't hit you early just because of that.
I love the slow charge on Spirit Breaker. Percentage based slows on him, very good. If you've ever galed a Spirit Breaker that's charging at you, it is one of the funniest things. It's straight out of Looney Tunes, I swear. Sometimes this game. I love it. When animations break, it makes me laugh so much. You know, you cast a Snapfire game and she gets into that derpy.
Oh, I love it. When like Mortimer's like perpetually falling.
Yep, Mortimer's perpetually falling. There's a new one I've seen a couple of times where I think it happens if you get kisses canceled with some forced movement, or something like that, where it's just like a T-pose. Mortimer's just like standing up and there's no animation. She just kind of walks around the map.
What was really funny to me is that old thing, that bug with Mortimer falling all the time, tended to happen with Nightmare very often, right? That was the biggest bug when you canceled it. And it was like he was like in a constant nightmare of just perpetually falling. And you go, what level of detail these Dota devs are adding into the game?
Well, it's, you know, you ever have like a pet who like moves a lot in their sleep? Like sometimes dogs like will start running in their sleep.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend says about me. Yeah.
I see. Nimbus, or sorry, Thunder God's Wrath for Vision, as this smoke has not got anyone down bottom for Magnus. It's going to result in a push, very likely to be traded. Fortify is used, and the Nimbus is going to be used to allow the Zeus to retreat safely.
Trapnist has the biggest curve. Okay, he turned around. Rightfully so. They saw him on the ward as well. They do take a tower. Might be a trade. We'll see if they want to defend this. Trapnist does not have a TP, though.
Shocked, by the way, that Trapnist has not yet scouted the fact that there's a ward here, considering that he was nightmared initially, and then got arenaed here, but still. Yes, he's like, we have a sentry there. There's no way they have a ward. Okay. Tier 2 trade for Tier 2, by the way. This one's down, but they're going to ring the doorbell and force back the cut. They've got some more serious push. The cut, not really. They've got good push here as well, but the reason that they are not going to commit their push is because that would require you to use Metamorphosis, and then that's a waste, because then Magnus just TP, and you gain nothing but lose meta, and then you lose the next fight.
Yeah, good patience there. Of course, you did take a bit of tower damage, don't jump that they're there, so that's going to be an advantage for Magnus, but they know this. That's why they're abusing it. And now you're starting to see what we'd expect this draft to look like, in regards to the positions, right, which is Zeus actually being the 2 in this draft, and Legion Commander playing more like the 3. I think this adaptation is actually really good by Magnus, and we're going to see Octarine Core next on the Zeus. I don't know if I love this. I feel like Zeus might need maybe a little bit of positioning, like a Blink or Force Staff, in case you get caught.
Yeah, hell, even his Shard, I think, might be decent.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Because obviously they're going to concentrate like Nightmare and +1 on the Legion, but it sucks a bit that Mars can just catch you in the arena and you're dead, right? Like, right now, you're just dependent on the cut having a bad initiation. And your coverage in the front lines, rating is good. Legion is cancelled.
Yeah, they added so much stuff to the static fields active, didn't they? It used to be pretty bad. I forgot what it gave. It just gave them the jump initially, and then they're like, okay, now it gives you vision for 3 seconds. Oh, and also it slows them. Oh, and also it triggers static fields. And also, and trouble. Oh, wait,
no,
great speed.
He has a reincarnation, though. He should be fine. He won't be in the Nimbus back. Jack just walks by, hits the tower. That's going to be his first life gun. Can they defend him on a second one, though? UI is really keeping Scourge away.
First life
time lapse used. In fact, there's a duel onto the Queen of Pain. No Nightmare to cancel this time, so they're going to win the duel. Kit is down.
Big
and
one.
Trapness still trying to go for Pingu.
Okay,
going to kill him,
that's
though.
good. Magnus, they're happy with this. They'd like to just cleanly escape. They've just lost the Spirit Breaker, but his life, yeah, was very well served there, preventing the Nightmare, preventing the Fiend's Grip. Any sort of save from coming on out. Great catch there by the LC. That's always going to be the threat. Quap, very much a bit of an infiltrator. She likes to get in and really annoy these enemies, especially with the Sonic Boom Shard. You know, really incentivizes her to be playing in this fashion. Kit's immediately queuing up the Lincoln Sphere. He's like, yep, I don't want that to happen again. That sucked. Having to buy back, however, is going to really neuter his timing on that ability. And again, just 6,000, 5,000 damage here by the Zeus in that fight.
It does suck that you have to buy a Lincoln despite having Disruption and Nightmare in your team, right? You already spent so many resources on countering Legion, you still have to buy the Lincolns. That also shows, great job by this Legion commander.
Yeah. I actually kind of think, I have a theory, I think Quap is one of the heroes that probably hates defending, one of the mid-heroes that hates defending high ground kind of the most, because all your abilities kind of require you to initiate on enemies, you know?
Like you're not good at like staying back.
No, like you can kind of take advantage of a choke point if the enemies are kind of bad, right? Sure, you can Sonic Wave 5 heroes if they all walk in a choke, but that doesn't really happen.
Mark just got it a ward, well done. They just got it a sentry here on the high ground. Because he just saw, like, he's like, why did the Queen of Pain go back? That was an instinct.
You can wave clear really well on Quap, obviously. I'm not saying that, but so can almost every single mid laner.
No, but that's your tool, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sonic Wave is okay at defending high ground, right? But you're right, like, especially with the Sonic Wave build these days, you're enough of a tank that you can usually go there and like, get saved. But I feel like if you have Quap, you need, like, a Weaver.
Oh, this has gone very poorly for DNM.
No, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, well, almost wasn't. Mark TP'd in, very eager for the duel.
So what I was talking about is that I feel like if you have Queen of Pain with like a Weaver, for example, that can actually frontline with you, you know, and save you as well, or even an Oracle is a massive save and he's capable of walking into the middle of a team fight, great. But with Shadow Demon Bane, who both have to stand back, there's a little bit of anti-synergy when you defend high ground.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think it would be weird if you had a mid laner kind of being the one to utilize at that stage of the game, right, where you need to defend high ground, if she's getting the false promise instead of your carry.
That's also true.
But and that's kind of why, right? That's
kind
of
Oracle can always just Fate's Edict you and stuff. Like, there's other ways to save.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe the Initiator that would go in. I think Mars is also really good at setting that up, though. I just feel like that was a misblink.
That he is. Yes, very true.
Jax plus Reincarnation, but I don't think he must be alone here. However, they've counter-initiated here
Oh,
before.
they got vision.
Great Nimbus. They get rid of the Bane, which means it's duel time, baby! Or Mark's just gonna die. Oh no, Mark's just gonna die. No duel.
At the cost of 2, though.
It is true.
It's a dieback on Quap. Scourge is gonna be popping the Metamorphosis, but they can't quite squish the Beetle because he's got time lapse, these time-traveling bugs. Those are the worst to deal with.
Yeah, I know. It's that version of Looper was the worst one, where they replaced Bruce Willis with a cockroach. That was so scary.
Yeah, and then they nuke him, and he just comes back anyway.
Oh my god, he was headless for half the movie.
What's the point?
Yeah, anyway. Magnus, that was a good initiation by them, but I think that compared to last fight where the positioning by Mark was fantastic, this one was a bit poor, right? He came out from the low ground. He was really eager to get a duel because Bane was dead, but Shadow Demon's still there. You have to be concerned about the enemy team as well, killing you. It's not a free game once they kill Bane, and I think he got overexcited.
No. And a really good Nimbus anyway in the choke point to set that all up. Mark immediately making the jump. Well played. Sorry, make that Jack. By the way, I do want to commend UI. He's a stand-in this game for Team Magnus. You can't even tell. He's playing really well. The team's playing really well around him. Maybe it's one, maybe it's the other, maybe it's both. Yep. But it seems pretty good here for Team Magnus as they set up. They're up, of course, one man, or one woman, as Queen of Pain has died back, so they can safely know that if Cut are going to fight into this, it's going to be without meta, it's going to be without a Queen of Pain. And then we'll choose not to do that.
Ages.
2 takes the shard.
Thunder God's Wrath here uses to scout them out. Yeah, who took the shard? I think it's Legion already had one, so.
Yeah, does this give us shards? It shouldn't. It doesn't, but it should.
It should.
Does this give us shards? This one gives us shards. Okay. Classic Valve, you know, implementing a new feature and then just kind of
putting it randomly somewhere else.
Don't use the other one.
It's true, actually. That's very classic.
Weaver.
It was Weaver?
Yeah.
Okay. Swarm shard is actually amazing. I actually love it. People always talk about the revealing invisible units. That's nice. What I love is that it makes your second generated attack hit every single thing that is swarmed. That's particularly great at cutting lanes, which is one of Weaver's specialties. Right? So it makes it really oppressive along the map. Weaver can cut any lane, can shove any lane, pretty much. Even the ones that there are heroes in it. You can honestly sacrifice yourself is fine. And Swarm with Shard makes this 10 times easier. So, pretty threatening.
Good spear.
That was a very good spear.
Oh, but he got Bulldoze off. Kits wasn't ready for that. And he might just be dead here. Oh, he blinked out of that one. Silence is going to be good. Scourge is TPing away. Jack and Trapnest giving chase. They're going to have vision to toss forward the Wraithfire stun. And even get the kill there, setting it up for Trapnest, who will secure it with that last little charge on in. That's a big one.
And once again, they know that it has no buyback, right? Because he used it earlier, even if you don't have the extra buyback time this time. And that's pretty good for Magnus, because this is pretty much an open invitation. Just go and push the high ground, I'd say.
I concur. I think you just need to recover your waves. This one was all the way behind a tier 2 tower for some reason.
So Weaver Shard comes in.
Yep. Speaking of, not Weaver, but quite differently, a Spirit Breaker. Trapnest in a bit of a rough spot. He got a charge. He's going to use it offensively, actually, for a little mini-stun on the DNM. Couldn't really go anywhere because of the Demonic Purge. He will be taken down, but inside the base, that's going to be another 30 damage here for Mark. Up to 80 now total.
Honestly, for this game, it's honestly pretty good.
Yeah? you know what? Continuing to stagger these deaths, this should pretty safely allow you to easily take this lane of barracks.
Yes. And now if they contest you, you punish them by killing a single other hero. There's no BKB on Mars, so it's really difficult for them to initiate. I don't think you stay in this space any longer, though. You just leave once you get the racks.
Yeah, look for this tier 2 tower perhaps on the way back out. Maybe not, actually. You're that Spirit Breaker.
Lincoln's on TBE, dude. Wow. So they have 2 Lincolns? Is Queen of Pain still building hers?
Queen of Pain is. She's not really that close, though. Well, needs another ring.
Yeah, she's almost there. She's 800 gold away. It's not bad.
Yeah, well, where do you get that farm at this stage of the game, though? And then
Queen of Pain can take some of the difficult lanes. I agree, though. No buyback.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the fact that you have 2 Lincolns for a Legion who's, again, been cancelled this whole game, right? But like, it's really scary. You put so much effort into this,
I see
and
what
then now
you're
you
saying.
still got Lincolns.
Yeah.
Which I guess also cancels Wraith Fire Blast. Genuinely pretty good thing to stop.
Sure.
But still.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Hey, we already have... Oh, whoa. Hello, Jack. TPs are coming. That's going to be Mark. Nimbus is down. There's a refresher on Zeus now for this fight. As there goes the charge. BKB active now for the Spirit Breakers. He charges through unabated. Mark gets the duel on, but he's losing this one. Down he goes. There's going to be the second ult. The second Nimbus down. Weaver as well in the fight as Trapness looking for a bash. Finds one first hit. UI is going to be able to 1v1 and win the duel versus the Quap. Buyback now from the Shadow Demon as Trapnest is going to be surrounded and destroyed here by Scourge McDuck's illusions. UI in a bit of a rough spot as well. Jack doing his best here to save his comrade, but he's got to blink out because he's already lost his first life.
That was very poorly played by Magnus.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Magnus. I don't mean to flame you, but that duel was... I mean, I get the point. They were trying to protect the Wraith King, and that's why they dueled it terribly, to make sure to stop the biggest damage source. But they got through the Legion way too quickly, so it wasn't really putting a stop to anything. The extra damage to Terrorblade is honestly irrelevant here. I don't think 30 damage matters to this TB.
No.
I mean, it's great, obviously, for TB. Like, he's happy about it, but it's not the biggest point. I wouldn't have minded if he died to that duel if it did more. And then by Legion dueling and sacrificing herself so early, they had nothing to cancel the Fiend script, which then completely turned the team fight around. That was a really good Fiend script. Zeus might have been able to do it if you had like a Nimbus or Thunderbolt, but I think that's a really tall order for a Zeus that's already dealing with a TB. I think maybe saving press the attack or duel in that fight was more major. In fact, I would say that at this point, because Legion has so little, Mark has so little net worth, he might start to consider just being a more defensive Legion commander, whose role is to press the attack from the backlines, rather than duel the first thing he sees.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of at a natural stage to do that already. Ooh, there's 2 ACs, by the way. Mark's built one, and Wraith King has built one. That kind of feels bad. Not amazing. I mean, the armor is still good on LC, don't get me wrong, especially against TB, but maybe go for a Shivas instead with the plate mail. Oof, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I don't know about the AC on Legion, because the attack speed is not really well utilized in a hero that, again, is getting more and more useless by the second. They really just break the Lincolns. They do break the Lincolns. They're trying to get into the arena. We were discovering that Bugs can't get the walls in this case. Roman's really good against the station. Scorch is getting stunned a fair amount. It does not get Sunder off. Well done. They even use Lotus plus BKB just in case.
Oh, Giant is very dead, though. There's no saving him here. What? No, certainly not. No, they see him. He's going to get out.
Wow. Did he not have Shikuchi? Was not Shikuchi on top of him and he still blinked out?
Let's see. You know what? We have technology. We have technology.
Okay, let me see. Oh no, the Shikuchi just ended. Just ended as he blinked out. That's why. Alright. I mean, not really Weaver's fault for that. You know, you have to use Shikuchi to get to places.
Yep. But
still, I mean, you got the kill on TV. That's still your biggest kill, right? But it would have been nice to get Shadow Demon because now Disruption is not going to annoy you. Disruption's a big deal in late game against Wraith King because you immediately get 2 crits, and that actually hurts a lot now. As the illusions come out of Disruption, obviously.
Lincoln's doing a... Or sorry, a good Lincoln's Breaker in the Spirit Breaker.
I see. No, I see now. The Lincoln is not for the duel. Lincoln is for the Spirit Breaker. Sorry. That must be it. Yeah. That was Marcus. Mark tried to go in. Once they had the Blink Dagger, saving the Shadow Demon. Really good pickup, actually. Mark is in trouble now. They can't really cancel his Fiend Trip. They're going to let Mark go. Jack is the one that's trying to cancel, but Jack himself put himself in a really bad position. Reincarnation will save him in this first lane.
Scourge is back in 10 seconds.
Can he get away, though, in the second one? DNM has the arena. Here's UI, though, with the magical damage from outside the arena. He's going to hurt them a fair amount, actually, killing the Bane as a result. Pingu's down. Mark wants to retreat. There's the buyback from Pingu, though. Trying to catch up Mark. That's the goal. Nightmare
Ready to
something.
fight.
It's going to be Trapness sacrificing himself for the team. Good job, Trapness. That's actually a really worthwhile sacrifice. Distracted them enough to allow everyone to retreat from what could have been really bad.
Yeah, and you buy back on the Bane, so that's now another buyback expended. Quap's got hers back naturally now and has the goals for it, but it's both supports for the cut without buyback. Mark again with a little bit of a haphazard jump on in. Very hopeful for him to get that duel, especially when, well, both supports have their ultimates and both supports really hard cancel you. This is kind of why I was a bit surprised. We were talking about this earlier when Magnus fought around the Radiant's outpost. But this is why I was a bit surprised as well to see the double Lincolns. Maybe against Charge it does have a little bit more use. But, you know, you've got two supports that do very nicely with this LC, so that's why I was still a little bit surprised to see the double commitment. Especially because at some stage, I do expect this Quap to still take the 18-second spell block.
Yeah, but it's for the charge, right? Now that I'm seeing that, I was like, I could only concentrate on the Wraith Fire Blast for some reason. I just, my mind blanked out on the Spirit Breaker.
Sure.
But canceling the charge is a really, really big deal, so I understand that Lincoln. It's actually the biggest counter to Spirit Breaker, right? You can still get away with charges sometimes in the fights. It just gets much harder. Because the point about Spirit Breaker is that as it gets into the late game, your charge is not to stun a specific hero. It's to get through all the heroes as you charge through, right? And use your Greater Bash instead. That's the whole point, and that's how you play this hero in the late game. And when you initiate, it's the same thing. You want to get like the furthest creep or whatever it is, right? And obviously the Lincoln makes it much harder for you to have a successful one. Trap Nest. Is a Demonic Purge, plus Scotty, goes to Scourge, he's like, they have Lincolns, I'm done! Roars at them, there's the Arena of Blood, they do get the kill on Giant first, but now they have to deal with Scourge. Can Jack beat Scourge? Sonic Wave will make this impossible, in fact the Weaver's been silenced as well, Mark has no utility in these fights.
Oh, all right, Tavo's unplugged his microphone. Pingu is in some trouble, however. He's affected by the vessel, so the Nightmare is going to be enough of a heal, actually, to keep him alive. Why have you played with that in the middle of these fights? Unbelievable. I could still hear you, so I thought the audience could, but unfortunately, they only heard you through my microphone. But Magnus...
It unplugged.
It unplugged itself. Someone was pulling on the cord. It's very hard to unplug an XLR cable.
It was the cat.
No one here. Use this.
It was the cat. I wasn't playing with it, I swear.
Ah, okay, sure thing.
Anyway, Magnus will lose 4 heroes in this fight. Ended up being really bad, but they just proposed a really bad engagement, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't believe they went in on the back of the charge. They must have thought Roche was up, but they scouted with Nimbus.
Yeah, it was a really odd charge. It was an odd charge. It was a really odd counter initiation afterwards. I don't think we can call it a counter initiation, to be honest.
Like, I was actually about to commend Magnus, because I think UI, something that he's doing really well, is he's not afraid to use this Zeus ulti for vision. They do it there because they know, hey, Roche could have been up by now. They Zeus ulti, they see them around the pit, he drops a Nimbus, now they know. But they still go in and charge, and they still fight off the back of this. Mark's already having a hard time enough, as it is, to really find much of an impact whatsoever. He gets at least a kill onto a support, and hey, it's a dieback, it's something, but then the rest of the fight is just impossible. TB, he's able to just kind of 1v4 right now, it seems.
Yep. I mean, he's at that point. Wraith King has lost his... Usually Wraith King's window to beat TV, where actually this match was pretty good for Wraith King, is like 20 to 35 minutes, if you're really stretching it. It is past this window opportunity. No longer can Scourge be threatened by this Wraith King. It has to be Zeus, really, that deals with him now.
Okay, double spell block now.
Yeah, it's going to be so difficult to catch this Quap. So, it really is just Zeus or bust in this game, I feel. I feel like all the efforts here from Magnus should be to protect the Zeus. And Wraith King being more of a distraction now. Mark needs to be really careful, though. I really feel like he has to start deviating into more of a save Legion. Then, I mean, I said this earlier. We saw 2 bad fights already where he didn't do that.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell you this, but I think this game is still, I mean, even if Zeus decides to hold high ground for maybe 2 times, I think Scourge just buys BKB and he says, all right, what now, old man? Yeah. I mean, he just still has, and it's going to be a 9-second BKB past 40 minutes. I mean, that's going to be so punishing to Magnus. So, cut. Once again, willing to fight around the Roche pit, which now has respawned. It was a long Roche, 2.5 minutes. This Nimbus is going to let Magnus know that it is operational and it is go time, but a smoke play from the cut has got them in an advantageous position, and there's going to be the jump. They've jumped the Weaver here. Spear as well is going to find Jack. He's going to be affected by the first attack Shard, but in some trouble is going to be first Giant. He's going to be bursted and popped. Next to follow is going to be Weaver, and it looks like Jack is set to lose his first life as Scourge with meta active is really doing some damage. A perfect spear, but there's going to be, again, another Dispel. Trapnest, his charge is going to be canceled as the duel, it finds Kits, but there's no follow-up damage here, and there's even a Sunder. Down goes Mark. Mark's going to fly back. Fiend's Grip is going to be for Udai. He's going to buy back as well, but Jack has just lost his second life, does not have a buyback. Mark completes the TP, but there's nothing here for him anymore except for potentially his own death. Dodges the spear at the very least, and will be able to make it back up to his own high ground. Team Magnus, that might have just been the nail in the coffin for them. As they once again only get Shadow Demon out from the fight, lose everyone, bind back on 2 cores.
See what I mean though, that fight? Again, not to harp on this, but I feel like it's what's losing Magnus the fights. It's Mark keeps initiating. If he had just stayed back and at least press the attack to Zeus, you'd have some damage source. But instead, when he duels the Queen of Pain, you accomplish nothing because there's no follow-up. And you condemn the Zeus because you're now dead. No press the attack to save you from Fiend's Grip, and you don't have that many stuns. I don't know what that duel was supposed to accomplish. I mean, yeah, you still the Queen of Pain. Great.
Yep.
Right?
DNM, by the way, playing a fantastic game on the Mars.
Yes. I agree.
He is killing it. Pingu's like, Pingu, the classic support thing, guys. No one wants the refresher. I can take it. Refresher shard? Are you sure, guys? But it's like right here. You know, refresh your abilities. I mean, I'll take it, guys. I got abilities. I could use them.
And Scourge's like, I kind of want to sell. Oh, can't sell. All right.
Can you not sell it? Oh.
Cheese, yes.
Cheese, yes. Cheese, by the way. Now that
because Ice Frog is a support player. He knew that carries would use it to sell.
This is very likely the game. At least 2 lanes of barracks. They might not go for the big old push right now, while meta is still on cooldown for 40 seconds. But they're going to be feeling very strong. Yeah, so Lincoln's does get taken first, by the way. I said this first, but we just confirmed it. It canceled the charge. Lincoln's Sphere, spell block, even though it's the same icon as Lincoln's, very confusing, is going to get taken second.
That is actually very confusing.
Yep.
Make a special one for Quap. Why not?
I mean, it just makes sense, though, right? I mean, it's the universal icon. It makes sense, but it is confusing. Yeah.
No, I feel like if you make one for Quap, or like, what if Quap is holding the link?
Well, it's the same thing with like Undying, who has the only reincarnation talent in the game, right? It's
the same as reincarnation.
Well, it's a little no. The icon is an Aegis as well.
Oh, it's an Aegis. Yeah. Well, that seems.
Right. Well, so it's consistent at least, right?
I guess that's true. I would still like it if that Aegis was like Undying holding the Aegis or Quap holding the Lincolns. I think that's.
Oh, DNM whips the spear. Arena's through.
Good Arena. Jack is not going to have anything to get his first life. Oh, there we go. That's first attack. Helping him a bit. In fact, he's getting through the Terrorblade right now. No, but close to it, actually. A good duel there onto Giant. They're actually taking a good fight. In fact, they're going to be able to kill off the Terrorblade. No, not with that Sunder. Scourge just turned this team fight around. Jack just died here to Scourge, and they just need to deal with the Zeus. He's the biggest source of damage. However, they're a little bit afraid of continuing this as everyone's not back here. They want to continue fighting. Kids is already dead. They caught poor, or TB could be in a pickle himself, as they're now bunching up on poor TB.
Satanic.
He's going to be using the Satanic. They have no Sky to stop as a charge, though, at least with the press the attack. They're able to bring him down. That's his first life. Buyback on everyone here on the cut. DNM is going to be tanking as much as he can. He does have the refresh, which means a second Sunder, and more importantly, a second Satanic as well.
Yeah.
There's a refresh immediately. Second meta.
Second meta. Yeah, he's still in fighting shape. Triple buyback committed from the cut. Only one committed out from Mark. It's a costly one, but sorry, make that Jack, pardon me, but it does keep Team Magnus, importantly, in the game. The cut, they decided against pushing that top lane of barracks. There's the ward taken down by Scourge. What a fight, though. Magnus, that time around, taking a much better one. Just kind of using... I liked what they did, right? They used the first life on the Wraith King to kind of just distract Scourge. Actually, almost getting through them. Scourge, by the way, just right at Divine. Yeah, he's going to decide against a... BKB and just go for Divine Rapier, sure.
Magnus is like, guys, we just saw the Rapier. We just need some time to discuss what we do. one second.
But they're not going to be able to do that again, unfortunately, because I think the whole fight, the reason Magnus win that fight is because you have buyback on Wraith King. 3 lives was what they needed to get through that. Then again, this time without Aegis, perhaps they will win this engagement versus the TB, but they have a very short window, even shorter now with this Divine Rapier, where this strategy is viable, because... if you can kill the supports in the time it takes Wraith King to lose his first life, well, now that time is going to be basically halved with this Divine. So you need to really be quite effective in cutting the backlines of the cut if you want to make this fight viable. Yep. And it's
which doable. They did a good job of it, right? I do feel like that is a really tall order though in this fight. Like they already wasted Arena in that fight to begin with. Again, not I wouldn't say wasted. They just weren't considering the counter initiation when they used it, right? It was not a bad Arena necessarily, but by doing that. It kind of shows that your team fight on Magnus is not good enough to do this without the arena.
A telescope. What an item for Zeus here.
Actually.
That is exactly what he needed. This cast range is going to be bonkers. I'll let the item kick in here. Now we can see Thunder, Lightning Bolt all the way from here. Aether Lens, of course, building into Octarine these days, in case you're not completely up to date on your Dota items, which, fair enough. That Octarine Bloodstone constantly changing in a constant flux. Weaver is maybe desperately trying to farm up the Nag Scepter. Not the craziest idea.
I think it's actually so valued this game, so I'm glad. Oh, they even got Spell Prism. That's actually maybe better than
cooldown of all spells. It's something to consider.
Honestly, I'd give Telescope to Weaver and give Spell Prism to Zeus.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed, because this is still an aura item anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly. So it's still effective. And he can utilize the cooldown reduction much better. Especially once you get Ags on Weaver. Like, yeah, Ags is useful, but the 25% on, what, I think it's 16-second cooldown on
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
What? Doing trap this. Did he just trigger the... Wow, actually, never mind. Maybe I spoke too soon. Travis has done this so many times, and they've initiated on it, that they've said it... Like, the cut now assumes that every time Travis goes in, the whole Magnus is behind him.
It's, he's achieved the Spartan effect.
Honestly, dude, Trapnist... This guy is just, he's been training them like Pavlov, you know? It's like, the cut might look like a steak, but really, they're my dogs.
Wow.
That's what Trapnist said.
Wow. What is this, a Scourge McDuck interview? Oh my god, I can't believe it.
I think I'm feeling like a based cast today.
Oh, we'll see. Scourge, he's going to be...
It's a reference to Pavlov.
Yes. He's going to be pretty based here with this DD rune and the Divine Rapier and meta active. Oh, man. And Terror Wave, by the way. He's, I think he's consumed that. No, he passes. He says, you know what, guys? No, I don't want a double damager. Actually, I want it. I changed my mind. I'm walking back towards it. Don't take it.
I think they're just waiting for it. This is the MV play, right? Where you wait for it and you go, right, we're going to wait for a double damage rune and then push. MV popularized this in America, and he does in North America, mind you, and he does it so much in pubs that people actually start doing it. Everyone started doing it. It's kind of wild. Like, he values double damage rune so highly in the late game.
And they're fighting. They're fighting around this DD rune. This is going to be huge for them. Weaver, if he dies here... Oh, no, but he's not. He's going to time-lapse himself. That'll get him into safety. BKB and DNM is going to be using that ability. They've already popped the LC. No buyback in this fight.
Wave.
And the fear onto Jack. Those crits for 2,500 damage. And is popped all around now by the Zeus ultimates. As he refreshes for a second round, they almost get through a couple of heroes. But Jack on full retreat. Pinned now to the tree. He's going nowhere. That should just be about the game. UI, yeah, now there's going to be, oh my goodness, a TB hot on your tail, and he's going to kill you despite using that little Mario jump. Weaver is going to end up dropping, and it looks like the EE strat of waiting for the DD rune, it pays handedly here for the cut. Oh, it seems like a game 3 is all but unavoidable now.
Something I liked a lot from the cut that they utilized Magnus's overzealousness as the GG. They utilized their overzealousness to actually bait around the DD rune. Usually you just wait for it until you got the lanes pushed enough and you just go and push. But instead they were actually baiting them. Because we've seen Magnus over and over again. We joked about the Pavlovian response, but that's actually what happened. They acknowledge that Magnus all the time what they do is force these initiations, even on bad positions. Because they just think they're stronger or they think they have to have the lead. I'm not really sure, honestly, what the logic is there entirely. But they abuse that towards the end by baiting out